Welcome everybody to the webinar of the 27th of September. Today we talk about the germination of Zinnia elegans and Zinnia marylandica. Our speaker is Ivan Posniakov, our technical specialist for Asia Pacific, the tropical regions. Ivan, take it away.
Thank you, Michael, for my introduction, and I would like to start with a senior introduction. And also, I want to say thank you for all attendees who is joining us today, for all our distributors, all our customers, growers, and just simple flower lovers. So let's start with a senior introduction. And I would like to, I would like to start with a senior assortment. We have a really huge assortment of Zinnia. I think no one breeder has the same. We have a broad assortment of Zinnia elegans, and 2 years ago we launched Zinnia morelandica. Zinnia morelandica is a good option for the condition if you're afraid about some infections, especially like rhizoctonia or any kind of infections. This Zinnia is more resistant against that diseases, and it has the largest flowers in the market among the Marylandica genetic. It's really double flowered variety, and later on I will show you a picture. And welcome Zinnia Zydeco, which is one of the best, as per my experience, Zinnia in the market. And we have a broad assortment of Zinnia elegans. Zinnia elegans is a common, made to say the common Zinnia, well known for the many growers, but we have interesting options. First one is a dwarf Zinnia, or first series mentioned in this table is short staff. Short staff has a size about up to only 20-25 centimeters tall. It's really genetically dwarf, not need to apply the additional amount of PGRs, and grows well in a trays or small pots. The Magellan, it's made to say the semi-compact. It's also genetically compact, but taller than a short staff, and it has a really double flower. Swizzle, unique series. In my background, you can see very nice example of the flower of this variety. It's called Swizzle, Ivory and Cherry. Very perfect and really double flower variety, which can be produced in a end of the year in the Southeast Asia, and even you can start with that with the mid of year. Let's go to the next two series. It's really tall series, suitable even for cut flowers. And here I mentioned that in application, you can use it as a cut flower and as a good landscaper, because maybe you had a chance to visit some popular landscape called flower fields in South Asia and Southeast Asia, where you can see the sea or ocean of the flowers, which is planted in the plains, and people able to take a picture inside this field, be in between the flowers. And these tall series very suitable for this application. And we have most efficient landscaper is Juliet. Juliet grows fast, and it's quite simple series to create. For as per my experience, one of the best series to create city, huge landscape with a very struggling condition. And in the bottom of the table, you can find the QR codes. You can use that QR codes to study more about, to learn more about our varieties and about our senior assortment. Let's go to see how it's look like. What's the fantastic flowers you can get in your location. Of course, we go through a small one to taller one. We start with the short stuff. Here I displayed, I offering to you pictures, short stuff grown in the trays. Next one, Magellan. Magellan is also compact. You can see the difference between short stuff and Magellan, not very large, but it's visible in landscape and visible in a pot. And of course, to get the Magellan so short as you can see in the picture is need to honestly it's need to apply a sum of PGRs. But the tallest height of the Magellan, it's about 35 centimeters, but for short stuff, it's about only 25 centimeters. So difference is really visible. And of course, swizzle, very nice flowers. You can see in this particular plant, really double flower patterns. It is exceptional. We have two colors. One, it's cherry and ivory, and the second in the scarlet and yellow. Scarlet and yellow, it's also very bright color, very nice, and you can see more opportunity with the two different varieties. And Zydeca is a star of our, may to say, the one of the brilliant Zinnia in our assortment, because the flower size is the largest flower size of Marylandica genetic. I can mention that Marylandica is honestly a bit smaller Zinnias. It has a smaller leaves, more compact habit than elegans species. And it has also more compact flowers, more smaller flowers. But the Zydeca is mostly match, it's very close in this flower size to Zinnia elegans. Is a unique genetic in the market, so you can use all opportunities of all efficiencies of the Zinnia marylandica with a large flower size. And the last one is Juliet. It's very common genetic, is OP genetic, so it's so that's why it's very efficient for huge landscape in the for the decoration city area or town area. So it's also an option which offers you 7 separate colors with one mix. And let's go to our tall zinnias. As I mentioned formerly, you can use these kind of zinnias in two applications. As a cut flower, here you can see the nice bouquet of the Zoe with a double flower, with a really double color flower. And here you can also find on the right picture landscaping application. It's also very suitable for landscape, especially for the flower field, which is so popular in Southeast Asia. And of course, Uproar has an extremely double flower inflorescence. So it really like a ball. It looks like a tennis ball and even has a bigger size. And it also suitable for landscaping application and for cut flowers as well. It's quite tall, more than 70 centimeters. It can reach more than 70 centimeters. And let's start with the Zinnia technical sheets. And before we move to technical topics, I would like to show you one beautiful picture taken in Japan. Here we can see application of the Magellan. Here you can find how is uniform. The Magellan is F1 genetic, so it can offer very unique uniformity. You see the different colors, and all the plants is more uniform. You can see here the orange, scarlet, and ebony. So all the colors, it's mostly match the height. So let's go to the technical things, to the technical items. Honestly, Zinnia is not very difficult crop, but it has its own secrets. The first and the biggest secrets, and the most you should most focused on, is viruses and hygiene. And today, I'm sorry, I would like to say sorry, because today we will talk a lot of, we will spend more time for the hygienic and for phytosanitary. And next item is pH control. Zinnia is made to say little acid lover crop, so that's why we need to keep attention for the this item. Stretching control and timing is a fast crop. I mean, when I talking about the timing of senior production, I talking about the fastest. This more fastest crop among the among the other crops you can find in our assortment, in entire flowers assortment. So that's why pay attention about the zinnia goes through the stages very fast. An entire time of the senior young plant production takes about 3, and even time in sometime even 2 weeks. And fungicide rotation, because senior um, quite sensitive to fungal diseases, and not only fungal diseases, also for bacterial diseases. So that's why Zinnia, despite of it looks quite strong, like aluminium plants with a strong leaves, cardboard leaves, honestly, it's a little bit vulnerable. And if you know how to prevent invading of diseases and viruses into your location, you will make your life more easy. Let's go. Let's start with hygiene again. Why I talking about the hygiene, and especially why I talking about the hygiene regarding the so strong crop as a zinnia. You can see here on this picture. Let's make you choose what you want to see in your location: right side plant or left side plant. On the right side, you can see the leaf curling virus symptoms on the plant, which found this year in India, in Maharashtra state, is one of the dangerous virus which can infect the Zinnia. It brings not only leaf curling, it make plant more weak, so more sensitive to the fungal diseases, and it makes plant not so productive in a blooming. Flowers became smaller. It start to curl they petals as well, and the flower size and doubleness more worst when the not when with the not infected plants. Let's go to advise how to prevent, how to avoid this very dangerous and very scary viruses. Of course, not only leaf curl viruses can infect the plants. There are about 10, more than 10 viruses can be hosted inside the Zinnia plant. In the first, to understand how to handle and how to manage the diseases, how to manage the invasion, and how to protect plants from invasion. Here you can see the red border. Let's create a border around your plants. And to understand how to reach the best protection, we need to understand the ways how viruses and bacteria can enter in your production location. The first one is the water. Most normally growers not pay a lot of attention to the water, so that's why it's also critical, and it's most of the critical items, especially in bacterial diseases. When we're talking about the bacterial diseases, the second it's made to look so strange, but ready plants and the same plants, senior ready plants, can be also dangerous for the young plants. And never put any kind of hanging plants above your young plants, and never make a contact between the ready plants and the young plants. The third one is a substrate. And of course, when we're talking about the substrate, we're talking about the components of substrate. So the third one is old materials. All kind of old materials can be source of bacterial diseases. It not care viruses, because viruses mostly carried by the animals, by the insects, and of course a human. Later on, I will talk about the human more in detail. And another option which can be used by a virus to invade the greenhouse is plant residuals. Any kind of plant residuals, plant materials can be one of a good source of a virus infection. And let's go to observe the quite simple and efficient, very efficient way how to avoid so huge difficult like a virus infection. But honestly, I would like to say, let's back to the previous slide. Honestly, if you will find these kind of plants, which you can see on the right of this picture, it's not it is not possible to cure these plants and to make these plants free from virus. These kind of plants should be eliminated for sure, should be eliminated in 100%. That's why it can be it can be it can bring more problem. Virus infection can bring more problem than fungal and bacterial diseases, because you can cure plants from the fungal diseases with the chemicals, but there is no any ways how to cure the plants from the virus infection. So that's why I spent a lot of time today on the Zinnia webinars, how to prevent invading viruses and bacteria into greenhouse. Let's start with one simple thing. Honestly, today I will tell you about the cheapest approach how you can apply in any kind of condition. Of course, here you can see quite modern greenhouse, but you can imagine on this place the very small equipment like a normal shading, the shading shields, and you can apply any kind of advices, even with a very simple and very efficient um, very efficient equipment that you can have in your location. First advice: use the net. Use the net against the insect, because the insect is a main source and main vector for viruses, for any kind of viruses. So you can apply this kind of material like a net against the insect with a very tiny holes, which in one hand can provide a ventilation. In other hand, it not not let the animals, small insects, go inside the greenhouse. It's quite cheap material, and anyway you can apply this kind of material even in a shading area, not only in a greenhouse site, even in the shading area. And here on the right picture I display some chemical picture where you can put in the site ventilation, where you can put these kind of nets. Let's go to the next advice. Trap your virus vectors. The main virus vectors is aphids, thrips, and whiteflies. All insects which feed on the plants and which able to bite the plants and which suck in the juice from the plants. All these insects able to transfer virus from one plant to another. And the main way how viruses will go to your greenhouse, to your location, to your seedling production is these kind of animals, these kind of insects, may to say pests. And the best way how to protect your plants is to trap. And there are two very efficient way. The first, of course, most efficient way is to protect your plant with a net, with your location with a net. And this kind of material and this kind of equipment will protect your plants also in very efficient way. It's also not cheap, and you not need to apply too many UV traps in the greenhouses. Just necessary to put maybe one UV traps per 200-300 of square meters, for each 200 or 300 of square meters. Or if you have just only 1 square meters, you need to buy just only one UV trap. UV, it means ultraviolet traps. It able to trap the insects, which is coming to UV light, and they like to follow for the UV light, and this trap kill the insects with electricity. With a net, you can see here is a net installed in these UV traps, and this net under the electric charger. So that's why this trap will take insects which is coming, and it will attract all insects, all kind of insects mentioned here in this list, uh, in uh, in this box. And on the right side, you can see the most common way how to catch virus vectors is sticky traps. I talked formerly many times about that, so I hope all the growers will remember about these kind of traps. Let's go to another way: create a barrier. When I talked about nets, anti-insect nets, I also talked about a barrier, but here I would like to display items concerning to not only to the equipment, it's concerning to the phytosanitary into hygienic way of working. The first one, it's also simple way, just create this small additional entrance, which called like caisson. Caisson will protect free entrance air of the air and free entrance of the people, a direct entrance of the any kind of materials with the air when you opening the door. Is the cheapest way how to provide this kind of limitation, which help you a lot to avoid invading animals, invading insects into your greenhouse, and not apply transit through the greenhouse, transit of any kind of materials and the people. So greenhouse with a double enter, open double entrance, it's not applicable for sure for seedling production area. Let's go next. Not combine, never combine ready plants and young plants. Here you can see the simple example how to avoid what is the best way and what is absolutely unacceptable way. Never combine the ready plant, because ready plant can be already a host. The longer plants growing on, the more viruses can be collected and can be hosted into that plants. So this is really straight advice: not combine ready plants and young plants in one location. Next one, create proper work scheduling. Here you can see how able to work in the greenhouse, how people can work in the greenhouse, and can you can combine employees with when you want to use the same people who to work in the young plant area and in the ready plants area. So here you can see the proper ways of working. If the people wants entrance to the greenhouse with the young plants, he should never combine work in other locations. They should work only in the place with the young plants. Of course, they can go for the rest. They can go out from the greenhouse for the lunchtime, but they should work if they would like to continue to work with the young plants. They should work immediately and not go in other locations. If the people once that people entrance to the greenhouse with the ready plants, they shouldn't back again. They can continue to work with the ready plants and finish his up to the end of the day, finish with to work with the ready plants. And absolutely unacceptable situation if the people while they start to work with the ready plants, they want to back to work with the young plants again. Here I put with the big characters the sentence, this kind of working is absolutely unacceptable. The simple way, and of course, never let people enter to the greenhouse with the seedlings and the yard plants right after they work with the ready plants. This kind of combination absolutely unacceptable. And let's go to the all kind of quarantine approaches in one slide. One entrance. The second one, use the caisson. Apply antiseptic mat. Antiseptic mat, it's also cheap, one of the cheap option to avoid transfer any kind of pollutions in your legs. So this is this cheapest way, this one of the cheapest way will protect your plants better than any kind of chemicals. And of course, net on the side wall of the greenhouse or the side of your shading area, if you apply only shading area. And another items which can provide clean area, never forget about the start with a clean area. As because Zinnia very sensitive to virus infection, we need to start with a really clean area. What I mean when I talk about a clean area, I would like to explain it again in detail. A clean area is not only cleaned with any kind of activities which able to remove plant residuals. Clean area, it means area cleaned from the pests, cleaned from the plants, made free from a plant, any kind of plants, treat with the chemicals, fungicidal, varicidal, and insecticidal chemicals, and washed away. And on the right side, you can see the correct result of this kind of activity. This is very serious thing, and so that's why I looks today so serious. I would like to protect your and your plants, and I would like to advise how to easily in what kind of really easy and cheap way how to protect your plant from viruses, from very strong disaster you can receive in your greenhouse. And here I offering you again disinfection laboratory. Here I choose the best chemicals which can be applied as a material which will kill and you can be can be confident in 100% that this chemical will kill on 100% all kind of bacteria, viruses, and fungus. Let's go to the my favorite advice. Mind the gap. It doesn't matter how you will provide this, but mind the gap. Mind the gap between the floor and plants and roots of the young plants. Here you can see the trays with the legs, with the small legs. It also possible. It also very efficient way how to protect your plants from the spores and from the germs, which can be cause of a strong and very dangerous diseases. Or you can apply the tables as you can find in the right picture. And let's start with the next item. Finally, we protected your plant, and now you know, and you already more familiar with the very cheap way, and it honestly, it really not take a lot of money from your budget, but it will protect your plant very efficient. So I would like to repeat it again. It's better to avoid invasion than to cure the plants. After all, the bacteria or viruses will infect, and especially when you can see the things of the viruses and any kind of virus symptoms, you should remove your plant from your greenhouse. And it's absolutely not incurable diseases. So that's why it can bring so much damage. If the virus infected once your plants, these plants should be eliminated. Um, And of course, provide proper pH. Proper pH for Zinnia is a 5.5, 5.8. I may to say it's slightly acid. It's the same picture as for Gerbera, as for instance, Catranthus, because with a slightly lower pH, most of fungal diseases not so active, and spores, and especially those spores, are not so made to say dangerous for your plants, and the lower pH also not preferable for this kind of living materials like zoospores and spores and fungal gifts. Substrate should be moistured up to level 5, so it means saturated. And what means saturated? Saturated means water can be the surface of substrate is glittering because of the water level, visible water level on the substrate surface. And let's go how to adjust pH. I would like to tell you again about the pH, because for many growers it can be difficult, and can be difficult for understanding. So I would like to repeat it again. What is a pH? pH is acidity or alkaline level in the water solution and in the substrate. Because when we're talking about substrate, we're also talking about the water which contains inside the substrate. So pH level shows the amount of hydrogen cations in the water. And hydrogen cations is the same like acidity. The more hydrogen cations, the more acid the water or water solution. And here you can see the strange thing. as per as per my how to say it, as per as per my thinking, it's a very strange thing, because here you see the scale which shows pH level from 2 up to 8, and it means the 2 is more acid. The normal sense, the common sense, tell me that more number should means more acidity level, but in the pH rate it's how to say it, made to say upside down. This situation is upside down. So the less level of pH, it means more acid liquid, or more acid water, or more acid water solution. And how to apply? And here I show the, as per my side, a simple explanation. Here I put the bigger size of the cane with the nitric acid in front of the level 2, and the smaller one in front of the level 8. And how to prepare your water solution for the applying it for watering. First, you can start with the filling tanks, and the second item shouldn't be adding the acid solution. First step should be, before you will acid solution, you should start checking the pH. If you see pH is improper, is higher, you able to start to adjust the pH. But in some cases, you can find the pH level, it's already closer to required. For instance, here required 5.5. In a 6th item, you can see pH mentioned 5.5. And as because we're talking about the Zinnia, we're talking about the rate closer to 5.5. So after you check pH, and if you find the pH is higher or lower, you need to start to adjust pH. Normally, in common practice, in most of cases, pH in general, in many sources, water sources, higher than 5. So that is why I normally advise to use nitric acid. And another items, never use phosphorus items, because phosphoric acid can bring a lot of problem, because phosphorus is not so it's not so movable in the water solution and in the substrate especially, and it not consumed by plants as well as a nitric acid. Nitric acid is a source of nitrogen, so plant likes to take the nitric acid, likes to absorb the nitric acid, but not really like to absorb the phosphorus acid. So that's why I advise, and I showed here a nitric acid. Let's start with a few drops of the nitric acid. It's less than a 10 milliliters. It should be less than a 10 milliliters. And the next steps should be not direct applying of this solution or this water to the plants. Next step should be again check pH. If you see the pH came to proper level 5.5, it means you can apply this kind of solution for the plant. If you see the pH not match the requirable level, you need or add more pH if the pH lower, or you need to add more water to dissolve the acid into more volume, bigger volume of the water. And after this, you can repeat next step again, check pH. And if you follow this algorithm, you will never make a mistake with your pH. And let's go to the next slide. Why I talking, it will explain why I talking so much about pH level. Here you see, what you can see, I telling the truth about the pH. The pH is not a real number of hydrogen cation, is a logarithm. It's logarithmic number of hydrogen cation dissolved in the water. And here on the on the left area, I display what really means pH. Normally, concentration of hydrogen or acidity measured in millimoles in 1 liter. So it tells you how many hydrogen cations dissolved in the water in 1 liter. And here you can see the pH with number 1, with a 1 level, contains 0.1 moles per liter. The next pH level 2 already contains 10 times less. Not one, the difference between two level of pH, not one, the difference 10 times. And in the right picture, I display it like a diagram which shows 4 different pH level from 7 up to 4. 7 has a less ions, hydrogen ions, dissolved in water, and 4 has a more. And here you see I take level in a difference 10 times, and here you can see how difference is huge. Yes, between two closest items, 6 and 5, you can see the 10 times, and the height of the columns is 10 times. And here you can see how is high, how the difference is bigger, and the more huge is difference between the number between quantity of pH or pH level, which difference on 2, 6 and 4. You can see the difference will be already 10 times. So here, I think this picture will explain you better the meaning of the pH, why it is necessary to pay a lot of attention to pH. And of course, you can find many sets or many equipments which you can use to measure pH in the substrate, directly in the substrate or directly in the water. So let's go to the germination, to the sowing stage. As because today we're talking about the sowing stage. In this slide, I would like to briefly explain about the common and most critical items which explain what seedlings, what seeds require, a seed of Zinnia requires for germination. The normal tray size is 288, but I advise to use little bit bigger trays for Zinnias, as because the Zinnia seedlings is bigger than the seedlings of other plants, and as because the Zinnia seedlings are very can stretch quite faster, it's better to provide more distance between the plants. This distance will give more light, more side light, which can come to the plant and which provide the stretching. It is necessary to apply just only one seeds per Celsius because Zinnia has a quite high rate of the germination. It not needs to be it needs to be covered, and it not needs a light. It not needs a light for germination. And another critical items. I will tell you something more in detail in the next slide. Not apply germination chamber, and later on I will explain why. Maybe some of visitors already knows about why I not advise to use a really germination chamber for zinnias. And soil temperature requires for zinnia quite high. Zinnia is also heat lover crop, so that's why it's a very favorite crop in Southeast Asia. It requires about 23, 24, and sometimes even higher temperature for germination. But please keep in mind that lower temperature, then shorter plant you will, shorter seedlings you will receive. And let's go to the another two critical items: stretching and timing of the crop. As I explained and as I tell you formerly, Zinnia is very extremely fast crop. It can proceed all the stages from germination up to seedlings that ready to transplanting only within 3 weeks, and sometimes even within 2 weeks. So that's why I not advise to apply germination chamber. Honestly, I should how to say it, straight cross this right picture with a red line and to explain more clear that not use a germination chamber for this crop. As because if you use a germination chamber, you provide more humid condition. In this kind of condition, seedling will stretch a bit more than you apply germination in the normal greenhouse area. So be careful about also high air humidity. So this why I really not advise germination chamber. And the second reason why I not advise it is that normally I will talk about the people bias, because if you go to the greenhouse, you visit normally greenhouse more frequently than germination chamber. So if you start to visit a germination chamber not so often, you can lose the time when the plant needs to be taken off, because the germination time for the Zinnia, it takes about maybe 1 or 2 days. So if you put it in germination chamber will make this process more faster. And if you miss the time, because sometimes especially in a more hot, more warm condition, Zinnia able to germinate even within only maybe the 20 or 25 hours. If you miss this time, if you miss entire germination stage, plant start to stretch in the germination chamber condition, because germination chamber not provide enough level of light and provide too humid condition. And in this slide, I would like to finalize my explanation on the termination process of the Zinnia. And I hope I will see you in the our next session. But before I finalize this session, I would like to explain and to spend a few times about the few minutes and explain about fungal diseases and how to protect the plants against the fungal diseases. Alternaria and Pythium is the most critical diseases and most common diseases which can injure the senior young plants. Today we talked a lot. We already talked a lot of about the viruses, but the alternaria, especially alternaria, it's one of the critical disease which can be found on the senior. So I put it in the first place, and here you can find active ingredients that you can apply against these dangerous Yersinia disease. And not forget about a fungicidal rotation. Here I provide already four type of fungicide for alternaria, free type fungicide for free type of active ingredients, sorry, for Pythium, and even five type of active ingredient for Rhizoctonia. This is this table is a good made to say library for the growers to know which kind of fungicide you can apply. They can apply against the same diseases, because if you will apply the same fungicide with the same active ingredients for the many times, especially for the many years, you will find that fungicide activity will be significantly less and significantly lower, made to say, than you found it in the first time in the first application. This kind of application and this way of application, if you apply just only one active ingredient for the long time, you will choose more resistant and more tolerant fungus in your greenhouse to this particular active ingredient. So that is why I advise to change active ingredient to not select resistant fungus against to your active to active ingredient used in your location. So I think this advice, especially first part of my presentation, will help you a lot to avoid the uh, any kind of mistakes and any kind of diseases in your location to make you successful. And I want to ask you, please reach out your key account manager if you have questions on the Zinnia, or if you have a question on other crops. You can reach out me or key account manager for your region, Gautam Sangle or Iqbal Amjad. They are available with their email, with their Outlook, and also you can reach out my person, or you can find more information on official site of Syngenta flowers. Thank you for your attention. I think this kind of seminar and this detailed explanation will not will sorry wasn't was make you boring. Thank you for your time. And please, you can ask your question if you have a question right now, and in a Q&A, in a chat, in a Q&A bar. And I think we have a time to read the question if we get some of them in the.
Yes, thank you, Ivan. Let's open the floor for questions indeed. Like Ivan said, you can use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to do so. I think the story was pretty clear. And we will continue with this crop, I think, in 1 or 2 weeks, Ivan, where we will discuss the finishing of the zinnias. So if any questions will pop up in the upcoming days, feel free to join our next webinar and send in your questions there. And like Ivan said, all the colleagues are available through email or WhatsApp or other mobile connections. Um, as there are no questions at this moment, I would like to thank Ivan for again a very clear presentation. I'd like to close off the webinar for now. And thanks everybody for their attendance and have a very nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.